Hi, I'm Daryl, and it's my wife Meredith.
Hi.
So today we're going to talk about when your significant other dictates who you can talk to. This is something we've seen listed online numerous times, and we want to make sure we distinguish here. There's a couple of different situations that could be going on. So first is whenever it's perfectly normal. Um, this situation is whenever your significant other sees that someone is a toxic influence in your life. They're looking out for you and they're saying, look, this person simply is not helping you.
You get off the phone and you look like 10 times worse than you did before you talked to this person.
And that's a consistent thing, not just a one-time thing with them.
Yeah.
But that you're consistently dragged down by the person. They're causing a great deal of strife in your life. That kind of thing. That's just someone who's looking out for you. That's good and normal and loving. Now, the other side of this is the toxic person who's going to dictate who you can and can't talk to. Oftentimes, you'll see this as being that they don't want you to have any friends of the opposite sex. They don't want you to have any of your own friends at all. Okay, this is very manipulative behavior. This is very abusive behavior. Okay, that is not acceptable. Unless you just had really, really lousy friends to start with and every one of them was toxic, which is probably not the case. Otherwise, you'd be toxic too. So, but 99.99% of the time, it's going to be that they are the toxic one and they're controlling, and that's an absolute red flag. Almost guaranteed that if they're doing that kind of thing, they're abusive. And this is just the beginning. This is them cutting off all your lifelines. One of the next things you'll find is they're going to want to move to where you're nowhere near anybody that you know, especially family and very close friends. They're going to want to make sure they move you out away from all of that support so that you can't leave them as easily. So my suggestion is get out now.
And if you have somebody who's not that, but it looks on the outside to people that they are, be careful, because you may have somebody saying, hey, they've moved you away from everybody and now they're telling you to cut ties, and it may have nothing to do with that. There are exceptions to how that looks on the outside. I understand.
Case in point, when we got married, we were living about 100 miles apart from each other.
Before we got married.
And I had a very good paying job. Meredith was in college. So whenever we got married, of course, she moved 100 miles away. And shortly after we got married, she cut ties with her mother entirely, which by extension largely cut ties with the rest of her family. This was entirely of her choice.
Yes.
In doing so, although I guarantee you her mother said it exactly the opposite. Because the situation ended up being that the day that we went to go and talk to her, so that Meredith could tell her that, look, we're not going to want anything to do with you and so forth, her mother used her normal tricks and shut Meredith down emotionally, so I had to step in and finish the conversation. So, of course, her mother twisted that around into saying that I was forcing Meredith to not talk to her anymore and all of that, and making me the bad guy, because that's exactly what she does, and because she's a toxic person, which is why Meredith didn't want her around anymore. Go figure. So, while Meredith didn't at all cut off relationship with anybody else in the family, she rarely got a chance to even see them.
Yeah.
And she really didn't like driving much, so she was not going to go drive 100 miles by herself to go see family for a couple of hours. That was just not who she was. So on the outside, it looked as if I was this, manipulative, abusive person who has cut off all of her ties and stranded her 100 miles away and so forth and whatnot. And
they were ignoring the fact that I had my own car. I had money to buy fuel. I had access
she
to
had
money.
full
They
access
didn't
to the
know
bank
some
account.
of that, but they knew I had a car. They were ignoring the fact that I had a car, so I had at least access to go where I wanted to.
Right, and she had complete freedom. She just didn't want to go anywhere. As mentioned in the video, extreme introvert. So, not wanting to go places in general. So, if you have a friend or family member that's in a situation like that,
carefully
get more information first.
carefully, lovingly find out, is
this really abuse, or is it just the situation happens to look kind of like that?
Yeah, because you're seeing one part of it and you aren't seeing the whole story.
An abusive person who's who's wanting you to cut off all of your relationships is also going to cut off your funds. Period. That is always part of that. They want to make sure that you don't have any money. They want to convince you to stop working. That way you don't have your own funds. They want to be the only source of income. They want to make sure that you don't have access to their bank accounts.
They're going to probably have you cut friends on Facebook, including family, so you don't have your support.
Stop hanging out with people, and like I said, if they can, they'll get you moved far away, so it is very difficult for you to be able to leave. That's signs to watch out for in an abusive relationship. When you start seeing that come up in your relationship, get out. Period. Don't care if you got kids, grab them and go. Deal with the legalities of it after the fact. Get out. That is the one situation. Abuse of any kind. Abuse is the one thing where we will say, just get out. Period.
Yeah.
You can't fix that.
No.
They won't fix it, and you can't. So that is the one situation where we will say, yes, go. Just now, go. Pretty much everything else, as long as both parties are wanting to, you can fix the relationship. No matter how bad it is. If both parties actually want to fix it, you can fix it. So for all other things, we will absolutely work with people and we will encourage them to stay and work on the relationship. But for abuse, no. Cut and run.
Save yourself, baby.
Absolutely. Well, that's all for this video.
If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel and leave us a comment or a question below.
It really does help to let YouTube know that others should also be watching these videos. Also remember to check out our Facebook group. It's all about relationships of any kind. And of course, most importantly, click below and schedule that free consultation. We have options for people at every level. Whatever your problem is, if we don't have a YouTube video for it, we can get you some other kind of resource, even if there's no money in the bank. So even if you can't actually do a personal one-to-one with us, there's options. Definitely click that link, schedule that call. And that's all we got for now. Y'all have a great day.
Bye.